Thank you for joining our webinar, What is an Outcome? The panel today is joined by Debbie Allardyce and myself, Lisa Jane Humphreys, where we will share our expertise as practitioners in social care and iPlanet. We hope you find this session useful. So without further ado, Debbie, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Debbie and I'm an iPlanet Client Manager at Aspirico. Thanks for tuning in today to our webinar on What is an Outcome? So when we talk about outcomes in the social care sector, what do we mean and what other terminology is out there? Across the sector we hear lots of different words to describe essentially the same thing: goals, aims, talking points, person-centered outcomes, output, support outcomes, provider outcomes. Essentially all these words describe the things that the person wants to achieve, their dreams, their goals, their aspirations. We might use the term inputs to describe what we are doing to support the person to achieve these dreams, and we might use the term provider outcomes to describe any organisational goals we have around supporting people. Always at the centre is the person. Outcomes form the foundations of how we support people to live a more meaningful life. So what do we mean by person-centred outcomes? What do good person-centred outcomes look like? So they are chosen by the person, they are important to them and chosen by them. The person has contributed to the outcome in some way. They have indicated verbally or by their behaviour that there is something that they want to try out, that they are interested in. It's something that has come from them. Person-centred outcomes are reflective of someone's strengths, skills, interests, and so are specific to that person. So for example, Cindy and Michael might both have outcomes around them celebrating their birthdays, but these will be different if they are truly person-centred. Cindy might want a tea party and will be making the cake because she likes baking, whereas Michael might want to go to a music gig for his birthday with his friends. Two outcomes about birthday celebrations that are specific to the individual's strengths, skills or interests. Person-centred outcomes are varied. They echo different aspects of the person's life and show some kind of progression, at least in small steps. So truly person-centred outcomes will not be repeated over and over, unless of course the person wants to. You will see some progression from the types of outcomes someone was achieving, say, last year to this. They're also a mixture of big and small, of ordinary everyday goals and aspirational big dreams. So for example, Cindy again might be planning her birthday tea party, but at the same time she might also be planning to enrol for the art class at the local college and planning her big dream to visit Gracelands in the US next year. They're creative. Person-centred outcomes explore new opportunities and new ways to achieve goals. Creative thinking in supporting people allows fresh new ideas and the opportunity to develop. And last but not least, they are meaningful. They contribute to a rich, full and active life and so have the potential to increase life experiences for the person. So when you're thinking about outcomes, it's important you describe them in the right way, both for the person and for the staff supporting, so that everyone knows what to be aiming at. An outcome should be recorded in a way that best describes it from the person's perspective, in a way that describes what the person wants in their own voice and in words they will understand. The description for staff can contain more details so that the staff supporting are fully aware of the what, the where and the who. And the how will be recorded as actions supporting the outcome. Recording more detail for staff also allows you the opportunity to think about what organisational or individual targets the outcome supports, for example, employment, volunteering, health and well-being. And linking a person's outcomes with these targets or KPIs allows your organisation to measure its overall performance around supporting people to live more meaningful lives. So, actions. Actions are the things that we are doing, the steps we are taking to achieve an outcome. Planning these actions means thinking about what needs to happen before the outcome can be achieved. We need a checklist of actions, small steps, with clear timeframes and clear responsibilities for staff. So we've talked about person-centred outcomes and how they're the things that are important to a person. But what about those outcomes that make sure someone is safe, well looked after, is supported to do their laundry, for example, or take their medication? These are the important 4 outcomes, and they are incredibly important to ensure that the person's needs are met. Keeping track of and monitoring the achievement of the important 4 outcomes ensures that the fundamental standards of care, quality and safety are met.